Welcome to the Last Three Rows of Horror podcast. My name is Mike Morrissey. What you're about to watch is my paranormal road trip documentary from 2025. My podcast partners and I, we are very honored and proud to bring this to you. This has been a labor of love. Now, naturally, I'm a skeptic. I'm spiritual. I'm cautious. And my theory is seeing is believing. So for a lot of this, I didn't even get out of my car. This is definitely guerrilla filmmaking and what I like to call drive-by filmmaking. Plus, I didn't have any permission or consent to film any of this. So, the whole point of doing this documentary is to show you what these locations look like now and a little bit of its history. And if you want to know more about these spots, I suggest you look them up on Wikipedia. There's a plethora of information on there. Or you've probably heard of a lot of these locations just like I did by seeing them on TV. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, and share this video. And don't forget, you can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, Spotify. We also have an email, and we'd love to hear from you. So any questions, comments, or concerns, send it to last3rowsofhorror@gmail.com. Thanks for watching, and keep it horrific. We're starting off the road trip in Plainfield, Wisconsin. This used to be the former home of Ed Gein. I'll spare you the gory details of his horrific and atrocious crimes that happened right here on this property. But if you're interested, you can find everything you need to know on Wikipedia. Ed Gein was the main inspiration behind the creation of such characters as Norman Bates from Psycho, Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. Charlie Hunnam will be playing Ed Gein on Netflix's series Monster this year, so look out for that one. Several films have been made about him and his story. I would personally recommend Deranged from 1974, starring Roberts Blossom, and Ed Gein from 2000, starring Steve Railsback. Rest in peace to all of Ed's victims. Next up, we find ourselves at the Roff Home in Watseka, Illinois. South of Chicago lies this old haunted house. It used to be the home of spiritualists and the location of one of the oldest cases of possession and exorcism in American history. It's open for tours and investigations. This is Ashmore Estates in Ashmore, Illinois. This is a well-known haunted building that was once an orphanage and a poor farm. I've been here 3 times. The second time I gathered up the guts and went inside for a tour and investigation. The history of the building is incredible. During the tour, one of the guides led us into the boiler/furnace room. He warned us that the spirit in there does not like women and may lash out. After a while, a woman in our group, who was a total stranger to me, started to complain that her chest was burning. We went outside for some more light to take a closer look, and she showed us her chest, and just above her breasts were 3 fresh claw marks. Something scratched her. I, of course, took a picture. We went back into the boiler room to try to communicate with the spirit to see why it scratched her by using a ghost app on the guide's phone. We did hear some answers through the radio frequencies, but what made me nervous was when I heard my name called repeatedly, about 5 times in a row. Whatever was saying my name said it so sinister, like it was hissing like a snake. It sounded like, Mike. After that, I had enough, and my friends and I got up and left. Plus, there was a ton of bats sweeping down trying to land on my face. Pine Lawn Manor in Sumner, Illinois, is an old building full of ghost stories. It used to be a hospital and rehab facility. From the look of it, it has big, long hallways. I'd love to go back for a tour someday. The Enfield Monster is a story that goes back to 1973. A man named McDaniel claimed that one day he came home to find his children screaming that there was a monster outside and it attacked his son. He went outside his door and sure enough, there stood a three-legged creature and it lunged at his son, tearing one of his shoes. The man grabbed a rifle and shot at it and it leaped away. That extra leg made it move fast and it disappeared. Then the man seen it again by some train tracks right by his home and he shot at it again, but nothing happened. Shortly thereafter, some people showed up with their guns after hearing about the story on the radio, and the local sheriff punished them. I asked a local gas station employee, and she heard the story a long time ago and believes it was an orangutan that escaped a circus train. Some people think the story inspired Steven Spielberg to create E.T. The man's house where he first encountered the monster is gone, but this is what remains of the area where it was said to have happened. Ahoo! Have you ever heard of the Kentucky Dogman? Well, at the land between the lakes and Grand Rivers and Golden Pond, Kentucky, the locals know it all too well. A large half-dog, half-man/werewolf is said to lurk in this area. Many people have had sightings and encounters over the years. In the 1980s, a family was found mauled and ripped apart to shreds at their campsite. Their wounds were that of a wolf or a bear at first glance because of the canine teeth marks, but experts ruled it out as an undetermined animal. Some believe it was the Dogman. If you are into camping and hiking and fishing and love the outdoors, then this place has everything for you. The land between the lakes and Lake Barkley and Kentucky Lake are just beautiful and full of history. In the 1950s, a family in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, claimed that they were attacked by little green men. They shot at them with their shotguns through their windows of their home, and they said the buckshots would knock them down, but they would just get back up again because they were wearing armor. They floated down from the trees and the roof, and when they were shot, a metallic-sounding clink would echo. At one point, one of the men in the group had his hair pulled by one of the aliens. Also, during the night of the attack, many locals claimed to have seen a UFO or two. Also, these locals called the family drunks and liars and didn't believe their claims. However, their story is celebrated every year with a Little Green Men festival at a nearby park. The house is gone, but the story lives on. For you horror movie fans, you'll be happy to know that it was the main inspiration behind the film Critters. The Bell Witch Cave in Adams, Tennessee was by far the highlight of my trip. I've been wanting to go there for years, and I finally had my chance to tour and explore the replica Bell cabin and cave. The history of the Bell family and the witch, Kate Bass, is fascinating. You definitely want to read up on that one on Wikipedia. It is said that it's one of the most well-known tales of a haunting in American history. I believe in that claim. There were hundreds of witnesses that heard the spirit speaking. That includes President Andrew Jackson, who was quoted by saying he'd rather be in battle than face another night with the Bell Witch. The Bell Witch has been the inspiration for many books, films, and pieces of music. My favorite would be Merciful Fate's single, The Bell Witch, off the reunion album In the Shadows from 1993. When my friend and I got there, we were so excited to go to the gift shop and buy a lot of merch. We did. Normally, I stay away from caves for fear of getting stuck. However, we had 4 tour guides, and it was a small group, so I didn't feel too suffocated and claustrophobic. Plus, on a hot 90-degree day, the cave was a cool 60 degrees. As we reached the second room and found out we'd have to go back the same way we went in, I was shocked but also relieved. I survived the Bell Witch Cave. The Mantell UFO Incident in the 1940s was a cool marker to find in Franklin, Kentucky. Supposedly, a UFO dogfight occurred here and forced a military airplane to crash on Steel Road, killing the pilot, Captain Thomas Mantell Jr. All of you UFO/conspiracy theorists have probably heard of Project Blue Book. This story was part of that investigation. Goatman, go away, is what you're supposed to say if you feel yourself being hypnotized by the Goatman of Pope Lick, Kentucky, near Louisville. On the Trestle Bridge lies a half-man, half-goat that is said to hypnotize its victims to climb on top of the train tracks and walk right into a train and commit suicide. I ain't afraid of no goat. Bah! Whispers Estate in Mitchell, Indiana, is an old haunted house that has tours and investigations. There has been plenty of paranormal activity recorded and witnessed there over the years. The property has been known to be haunted by a spirit of a little girl that likes to move a ball around her bedroom. Careful she doesn't throw it at you. The Indiana State Sanitorium in Rockville, Indiana, was at one time a huge facility that housed the mentally ill. It was abandoned for years and known to be haunted. Now, they cater events such as weddings. They allow self-guided tours. This seems dangerous to me. I wouldn't go in there unless there was a professional guide that knew every inch of the property. So instead, I just drove around it. Willow's Weep in Cayuga, Indiana, had a reputation for being one of the most haunted houses in America. From an aerial view, you used to be able to see an inverted cross on the roof. Many people were to have died and committed suicide inside the house. One of the last owners had it torn down for being too evil. Let's just hope the locals stay off the property. The nice little town of Fowler, Indiana is home to a haunted jail, also known as the Benton County Jail and Theater, which is still operational. Rumor has it, the jail is going to be torn down. I would definitely go back for a tour at the theater though. Okay, we saved the best for last. The 200 Demon House in Gary, Indiana is definitely a scary story. Several movies and documentaries have been made about it, and of course, good old Wikipedia has all the facts. The house is gone, and now it's just an open lot with overgrown weeds. The surrounding area is pretty rough. Gary has been poverty-stricken for years, and the roads are all uneven and filled with potholes. Remnants from the house are at Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum in Las Vegas on display. I'd really like to go visit someday. I really didn't want to get out of my car over here. There was an uneasy feeling that overcame me. This place is not for the faint-hearted, and neither is the story. I once listened to an interview with the priest that did the exorcisms of the family. His story would send chills down your spine. Evil does exist. So watch your back. This concludes my paranormal road trip. Hope you enjoyed it. I definitely want to do more someday, so stay tuned. In the words of George Romero, stay scared.